We'll do like we always do. I don't know if we're live yet. Are we live, Seeker?
Seeker, are we live?
Yeah, I think we're live.
No, I don't know if we're live. I know Paul and Snacks might be live.
We're live,
Sorry.
I heard you come back through, so I'm going to assume that people can hear us at this point.
They probably can hear us. And for those of you that are new to the channel or have been to the channel, this is our every other bi-weekly Monday community chat. We've got me, of course, Seeker and Raven, and tonight's special guests are Half Dollar Make You Holler, or affectionately Paul and Snacks. How's it going, brothers?
Doing good. Chilling, man, and excited. How you guys doing?
I'm doing well. How about you, Raven? How you doing tonight?
Dude, I'm doing awesome, man. Happy to be here. It's going to be a fun night. Got a lot of cool people hanging out in the chat. Got a lot going on with Silver to talk about. So, hey, it should be a great evening.
Speaking of Silver Seeker, you were one of the first to put out a pretty nice video regarding the silver price and this kind of the volatility of the market. How are you doing today?
I still haven't caught up on sleep from that. I was quite literally laying in bed. It was almost 1 a.m. I was getting ready to go to bed, and I'm in Discord, and one of the people in our Discord server had said something about AppMex pulled all of their silver off of their website. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I thought it was BS. But, I got on AppMex's website and it was all gone. And I looked over at my wife. She's like half asleep. I'm like, I know I'm tired and I know it's bedtime, but I'm going to go downstairs and record a video. So I did, and I recorded it. I edited it. I made the title card, tags, all of it, uploaded it, scheduled it for 7 a.m. By the time I went to bed, it was 3. And I woke up around 9, and the video was doing very, very well. Actually, one of the best videos I've released as far as performance in a long time, over 40,000 views in one day.
Well, it just goes to show how many people are trying to figure out what does this silver squeeze, this silver volatility, this kind of thing happening, what does it mean? And so I know that's on everyone's minds, but as a reminder, like we always do, if you have questions, we'll try to get to those that we can. Some will make the panel discussion, some we'll try to answer in the chat, some we just won't see because of how many people might be watching. Just remember that we'll do our best to answer questions. And with that said, we're going to open it up for anyone that has questions. You can tag individuals if you want someone specifically to answer it, or you can ask the panel to answer, or if you have thoughts you just want shared, you can do that as well. That being said, I do want to first say thank you, Party Pickle, for the $1.99 super chat. It's an official party. The pickle has arrived. And let me tell you a quick story really quick. So I woke up this morning and my calf cramped up so bad that I couldn't uncramp it. And I heard a long time ago, if you drink pickle juice, it's an immediate cure for cramps. And sure enough, I limped to the kitchen with the tight calf, drank some pickle juice, and the cramp went away. So it was a party with that pickle juice for sure.
There you go.
Bro, it doesn't matter how bad a cramp I get, and I am not chugging no pickle juice.
Snacks, I know, but I did it, and actually it worked quickly, to be honest.
All right. I hear you.
It works really well.
PA Skillmaster said it's because of the sodium. Maybe you just need to drink salt water.
You know what? I probably do that. I did see a question on here that's flying by, but Raven, did you have something you want to say?
Oh, no, just Jason GSTP made me laugh. He said the taste distracts the pain.
You know what? There's probably logic to that, to be honest. That could be it. We got another super chat from Gringo OG22. Ravenhawk literally bleeds red through his goatee. He is a fan of the Cardinals. No fair weather fan there.
Hey, this is a Tillman jersey, my friends. There's a reason I wear this jersey. This is out of respect. I'm a Bears. I love Bears, but this is a Pat Tillman jersey that I've had for a long time.
Seeker, I'm gonna let Seeker take this to start with. John Schmidt asks, will this be as big as the GameStop situation, a 300% increase or whatever, or is the silver market large enough to where it will be less drastic?
No, it's not going to be as big as GameStop. GameStop was way over 300%. In fact, if you would have invested $10,000 into GameStop on December 31st, on last Wednesday, it would have been worth $1.3 million. That's not going to happen in silver.
$10,000 to $1.3 million in a month. Crazy.
That is not going to happen in silver. Silver is way too big of a market to squeeze that hard. It will be squeezed, And it will. I think it's going to continue to go up for at least a very short amount of time. But the biggest problem I've seen people in this market have is, and I see the coin group with the squeezes on, is that everyone's looking at spot price. And don't get me wrong, so am I. But you guys got to remember that all this pushing that they're talking about on Wall Street Bets is for the physical market, and that's why you're seeing the premiums of silver skyrocket, even though spot really hasn't moved as heavily. And remember, there's always a disconnect between silver spot and physical silver. And, you're seeing that those numbers spread farther and farther apart because they are squeezing the physical silver market. I don't know how far it's going to spread into the stock or not. I have no idea.
Seeker, I read somewhere that if for some reason they were able to take all of the large investing corporations, the big banks, if you will, and made them cover their shorts, that it would take all of the current physical silver on hand plus 180 days of production just to produce the silver to cover all the shorts.
Yes, that is correct. In fact, it's probably more than that. They
were including the large commercial kilo bars in that justification. So that would take longer to break those bars down and put it in dispersible deliverables, if you will. But from what I understand, taking all the physical silver that's out there available right now, and along with 180 days production, just to cover the shorts, not cover all the orders, but just to cover the shorts. Just to cover the shorts. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, silver is one of the shortest markets out there. JP Morgan, we'll just keep it at that.
Yeah.
So,
S-Free has a really good question there.
If silver goes high, where do you think you could sell physical silver? So back last year, and I don't want to dominate the chat tonight, just because I research this all the time. But
hey, preach on, brother, teach.
But back last year, I actually did a video on this when silver was almost $30 an ounce. Now, granted, the premiums weren't quite as high, but this was after it started to move back up after the COVID drop. And I actually called multiple shops all over the U.S. I did West Coast, Central, I did East Coast. And I had no trouble finding shops that would buy. In fact, there was one shop that was willing to pay, I think at the time, +5, and keep in mind, +5 would be great for Eagles now, but a shop was willing to pay like +5 or +6, I think, for silver Eagles. I told them I had like a full monster box to bring into them. I think they were. I felt bad because after I got off the phone with them, I was hoping that they weren't hoping I would come in, but I think they felt better the next day when silver took a $3 haul. So.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be hard to sell silver. Now, if it gets to 50, 60, and there's massive premiums, you might run into issues, mainly because your small sellers, your shops and stuff may run out of money on the short term. A lot of the times what they're going to do is they're going to buy that stuff in mass. People are going to bring it into them left and right. They're going to turn around and try and sell it to the big guys like Upstate, APMEX, and those guys like that. So they may be short on cash in the short term while they're waiting to get that silver shipped off, get their checks in, so they can buy more. But it depends on how big the shop is too. But I don't think it's going to be hard to sell, no.
Raven, you want to read Chris K's?
Sure. Chris K said, would silver go up just like back to $45 in April 2011 and then go back down to the mid-teens after 4 to 5 years? Guys, you never know. It's all speculation. There is plenty of people, and we were talking about this earlier. People thought that, silver was going to instantly hit $50 or so overnight, and it's just a ride like anybody else. It'd be awesome if it went up. It hurts, streaming in a way for coin roll hunting channels and stuff because it makes the prices, your overhead just becomes too much. But, it's still nice to see a way to make some good profit. And silver is cyclical, just like gold. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. Seeing mid-teens again might be a while just because the buzz right now is so big. I mean, Seeker doing a video and it hitting 40,000 views in one day on this topic alone, that tells you something. Like Rob said, a lot of people are watching that used to not watch.
Yeah.
And I'll give you one example real quick, and that is I'm seeing I saw comments coming from India and different places saying "run silver run" on my videos, even and I'm not as big as you guys.
I think Chris K, it depends on how if it does get to 45, it depends on how it gets there. the silver industry they've seen this happen before in 1980 with the Hunt brothers buying up 1/3 of the physical silver out there and kind of monopolizing the market and increasing the demand. So people are attuned to what's going on in a speculative market that is driven up through short squeezing. I don't think that silver will fly up to 45. And if it did, I really think that, yes, over time, it would normalize back to where it should be at. But if we see $2 increment increases on a weekly basis over time, then it tells me that people are actually just generally getting an interest in stacking silver like they should always have been. And if we increase popularity of that type of savings account, then I think that the true supply and demand price for silver will not drop dramatically, but just slowly, steadily increase with some dips here and there based on supply and demand. That's my thought.
No, I can definitely echo that sentiment. I mean, the truth about it is, I mean, like Raven said, no one really actually knows what the heck's going to happen. That being said, I don't think you're going to see sub 20 silver anytime soon. Could it happen again? Sure, but it's probably not this year. So
I don't think so either.
We're gonna we dream about it now.
Yeah. I mean, we really do.
How about Snacks? You want to read the next one?
For anyone on the panel, do you believe the reason for premiums are outpacing actual spot prices due to larger speculation? Absolutely.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. You're good. You're more knowledgeable about this than I am. So I'm learning to listen too.
So in my opinion, speculation has a lot to do with it, but that speculation is also leading a huge demand. Like it's not just APMEX and SD Bullion and these guys saying it. Like, shoot, if you tried to get on APMEX's website yesterday, you had to refresh it 3 or 4 times just not to see their Cloudflare page. Cloudflare is a online service that speeds up websites, but when they get too many requests, they can't load the site. You get an error page. They were getting massively hit. I mean, there's no question about it. And I think APMEX's CEO even released a statement yesterday talking about how the amount of silver that they sold over the weekend, which caused them to pull all of their silver off the site Saturday night, Sunday morning, was 10 times what they normally see during a normal weekend. So there's no hiding the fact that the sites are getting slammed and that the orders are coming in. That's not anyone lying about it. That may be driven by speculation, yes, but the speculation is leading to actual sales. It's not just, JP, or not JP, oh my gosh, I was about to say JP Morgan. It's not just APMEX and SD Bullion and all them increasing the price just because people are talking about it. Those sales really are there.
Right.
And you can also see that just on going to eBay last night. I was on eBay for probably 2 or 3 hours just watching what was selling and prices that they were selling for, and the bids were just going insane. 100-ounce bars of silver selling for $3,600, $3,700, $3,800, and just like even 40%ers. I saw 40%ers selling for like $5-6 a piece, and it's like the demand was insane last night.
Well, also it's a small community, a small percentage of people that kind of have their head geared towards this sort of thing. And as time progresses and it gets more and more public and the public eye starts to see it, I think everybody's paying a little bit more attention. I think whether you're in a position to buy a bunch or you're counting your nickels and pennies, if there's money out there to be made and people are starting to be aware of it, it's going to make it not necessarily harder for us. Well, absolutely harder for us, but it's going to be a bigger brand, bigger market than it is or ever was.
Well, and it's also, this is like you guys are saying, it all simple economics of supply and demand as well. Look at just how the coin community itself has changed and how big it's gotten in the last 3 years. Sure. So that itself shows you what's going on. I mean, it's supply and demand will make really crazy things happen. That's why you're going to see, 100-ounce bar, what you said, a 100-ounce bar for $3,700 or something like that. Yeah, that's just people are going to jump all over it. Nate Barber says, say silver gets to $40 to $50 in JPM and big boys dump massive silver into the market. What do you see the price of silver going to do? Well, if they dump massive amounts into the market and make it available like that, it's gonna go down. That's just
go down. It will affect it.
I don't think. Yeah. I mean, other than them dumping for market manipulation, though, I think they think silver's worth more than that. I mean, they may dump a ton of it to drop the price and buy it all back. I could definitely see that happening. But I think they think it's worth more than that. I don't know.
Market manipulation.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. It's quite literally one of the most manipulated things ever. And
Always
it's,
have been.
yeah. Before we get into the super chats really quick, ADC says, what does shorts mean? Buddy, I would suggest doing some YouTube searches on that, but shorting the stock market is basically selling a stock that you don't even own. And it goes way deeper into that, but you need to do some actual research. It would take too long to explain to you here on this.
Yeah, it would take a long time, but I'll give them a quick nutshell in my thought what it is. If I have a portfolio with, say, JP Morgan, and it includes silver, and I actually own a stock in silver, but now they have somebody else who wants to buy it and there's none available, they'll take it out of my portfolio and sell it to them. And now there's two people's portfolio that has stocks, knowing that they can cover mine because I was long. In other words, I bought it at a good price in my portfolio. They can cover it later. So now they sell it at a better price to them, so they have it too. Well, eventually someone's going to say, we both want our shares of silver. Now they got to pay both. Well, if I was long and now silver's at 70 and I bought it at 14, they owe me $56 that I made on it, plus they have to pay them. So shorting it is basically shorting someone else's portfolio to sell it to somebody else and making the money on it today without having to pay anyone yet. That's what that is basically.
That's about as quickly as you could explain it. It still might be confusing to them, but that is dead on, yes.
Yeah.
Coin
Crew, Silver Seeker.
I feel if more of the mainstream public puts a value on silver, it could easily hold the spot price above 50. Yeah, absolutely. Like, if, too many people, especially millennials, and I'm not picking on a certain generation, but, millennials and newer, they just don't put value into things like silver and gold like we do, unfortunately. And if they did, absolutely, 50 and above, easily. But, cash in the bank's more important. So, thank you, baby. But I agree with Coin Crew 100%. I think if more people in general would put some value into silver, it would see well above 50. It wouldn't even be close.
It wouldn't even be close. And I think part of the rise in silver lately has been twofold. There has been an increase in the general public wanting the silver stack and sees the true value in having the people's money, if you will, not the financial institutions' money, but the people's money. And on top of that, like William Fowler pointed out, production's down. So you have less production, you have more demand, and that's why we've seen this kind of a surge in the price. And on top of that, now we've got this other stuff going on with the short squeeze, and we have increased awareness and increased want for it. So this could definitely create a nice jump. And I think if it does it properly, we won't see a decline like we did in 1980 and 2011.
Right. And by the way, we should explain what a short squeeze is. Essentially, let's say that a certain let's just go with it. Let's go with a certain hedge fund, Melvin Capital, has a huge short into, let's say, GameStop, and people realize this and they see GameStop is pretty cheap, and they're like, you know what, we're going to squeeze GameStop. And what they do is they buy up all the cheap stocks so that it makes the price go up, knowing that hedge fund is going to have to buy that stock back to cover their shorts. And so what happens is you buy up all the stock, make the price go up, and then when they have to cover their shorts, when they have to buy that stock back to give it back to their Rob Fine treasures, they have to now pay the higher price, which means you get to turn around and sell it back to them for more money. That's a very simple way to explain it.
Yeah.
But that's what squeezing is.
I'm going to answer Robert's question really quick. Rob, if silver goes to 45 to 50, should we sell for that much or back off the price a little? Robert Saves History, that's a question for a lot of different levels of what your long-term, short-term, or quick turnaround planning process is. If you're somebody who bought it at 14 and needs to pay some bills and wants to get a short-term gain, sell it. If you're somebody that is medium to long-term investor and you think it's going to be well north of that in the next 10 years, which I believe, then I would hold. But again, everyone's situation is different. No one's going to get mad at somebody that has 100 ounces of silver that they bought for $14 an ounce and sells for 50 and realizes a nice profit. That's a good business decision. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're a long-time stacker and you're somebody who's planning for your retirement in the future, or you want to have some long-term money, and you think it'll get higher than that, which I believe it will, then I wouldn't sell it yet, unless again you need to make the immediate cash back.
Personally, for me, I'm very long in silver. I think anyone that follows my channel knows this. However, yeah, I agree with Rob 100%. But if I really knew if you should sell it at 45 or 50, I'd be living on a beach somewhere, because that's mean I could predict the future. I really don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, he's right. There's nothing wrong with taking a profit. Never anything
Nope.
wrong with taking a profit.
You'd be dumb not to. If you have the ability to do it, it makes perfect sense. But like Rob said, it's a long-term plan. You have to know, that in the long run, did I give this up at the right time? Did my opportunity cost go away? There's a lot of things to consider, and it's all personal decisions, and it's all speculation. That's the big thing.
And if I bought silver under $20 an ounce, I don't think for the remainder of my life I'd be taking it in the shorts, basically, to make a pun with this, that it would be less than that at some point in the future. So, I mean, it might be there for a second here and there, and it might have its peaks and valleys, but long term, it's for me, it's not that volatile as far as dramatic increases and drops historically. Historically, it's been pretty consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Paul, you want to grab Nate's question?
Nate, we all know silver is insanely manipulated. What do you all think the true price should be? I've seen a lot of 500 to 1,000 spot being thrown around lately. Man, I really see it getting back up to around the $50 mark. I've heard $100. I've heard $1,000. I don't think it's going to go that high. I see it. I think 50 is not far off. I really do. I just don't know how quickly that's going to be, and for how long it's going to stay there.
Yeah.
I think $500 to $1,000 an ounce never happened, because I'm not that lucky.
Same, brother. Same.
I'm not that lucky. But tell me this, Seeker.
I'm joking. Go ahead.
If 1/3 of the people that have always thought of investing in silver but never have, just 1/3 of the planet that has thought about it that never had, decided one day that they are wanting to stack something other than the fiat situation, and they went out and bought and supplemented their savings accounts with physical silver, where would that really drive the silver price to, though?
Well north of 100.
Well north of 100.
Yeah.
And so, Nate Barber, the question is great. Yeah, I think Paul answered it great. I think $50 is probably the true valuation in general with today's demand. But even if this short squeeze and all this stuff going on right now in the media is not it doesn't impact the market dramatically, and it won't, like GameStop. It at worst case will bring awareness to the other way to stack physical metals like silver, and I'm hoping it drives valuation in the long term consistently forward, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I could totally see it hitting 100. I could totally see it anywhere 50 to 100. And I know gold is, we haven't talked anything about gold yet, but I feel like it's pretty undervalued right now too. I feel like I think we're going to start seeing gold prices go up just as much. Although lately it hasn't moved hardly at all for some reason.
Well, that's everyone's focused on silver right now.
Yeah, everyone's focused on silver.
I mean, I did tell people back when silver and gold were like over 100 to 1 that it's probably time to buy some silver, but yeah. Anyway,
I knew silver was just way too undervalued. That's why, I ran to the store back when it was, $14, $15 an ounce, and I just bought as much as I could.
Yep.
And I put it away, and I'm glad I did.
Yep.
Seeker, you want to grab bet detecting?
If it hits those prices, you couldn't do a $50 stream. That would make me sad. I tell you this, Ben. I'm doing a stream this Saturday. I don't know about the one after. We have to see what happens with the market. I may have to take a week or two off until I figure out what I'm going to do. As the way I do my stream, I give out a lot of high premium stuff, and the premiums are so high right now that I may not. I'm not saying no. I'm just saying I'm not 100% sure yet. I'll hopefully know more by the end of this week, though. But yeah, I mean, if they go to $50 an ounce, it's going to be really hard to do $50 streams, at least the way that we do them now. Things definitely would have to change them up.
Yeah.
You have to.
Go ahead, Raven. Sorry.
I was thinking about that today myself, that, you just even right now, the change in price, that basically you would need to adjust to do it, adjust to about another $10 to what you have going on, right? Yeah. And then where does it become a price point that somebody's not getting the return on the investment that they want? Because like Seeker, I give out premium silver, as well. And now I'm seeing one example was that Mandalorian. I gave those out as part of the streams, the $50 donation, you got that. Now that coin's $80, like just weird things that you can't get your hands on for the prices. And yeah, it's you got to either be able to adjust your pricing or maybe an alternative, go more numismatic with what you're doing,
At the end of the day, it's really for fun, though. Like, as long as you make it fun and are still able to do it, that's really the most important thing.
Right.
Yeah. So
Go ahead. You're good.
No, you go ahead.
No,
I'm talking way more than you guys are. Go ahead.
No, I agree. I mean, regardless, the community will be there whether or not, if you have to modify or adjust what you do, how you do. I think the community understands because they're in that world as well. So they're going to understand how you have to adjust because they know what's going on with silver, what's going on with the stocks and everything. So I don't think it'll be much of a shock to lower what you're doing. Because you got a knowledgeable community behind you, so it might make the adjustment a little bit easier than an average explaining to an average Joe why you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yep.
The dark green marine, he sees this as having a negative effect in the short term, Seeker. It's going to hit a spike. It's going to spike, but then he thinks it's going to drop under 20 before it recovers.
I don't think it's dropping, but I don't think it's dropping under 20 anytime soon. I really don't. I could see it definitely dropping, but I think right now with where premiums are, I think you're going to see it's going to be really hard for you to see retailers pull back on high premiums right now. So even if silver somehow hits 19 with premiums, you're still going to be $24-$25.
I agree.
Yeah. And Matt Poe says, do you think our stock market is broken based on how GameStop was squeezed? Listen, the stock market's been broken. Name another business where you could buy and sell the same thing twice. That would be like me buying my house, right? Renting it to somebody, and then while they're renting it, I sell it to somebody else, but I tell them they can't move in, and now I have someone renting it, and I've already paid for the house. And by the way, it's still my house. It's been broken. That being said, it's been a known thing going on, and I think all the GameStop thing did was just say, listen, you want to hurt the small average investor? Well, then quit writing rules for the big time people out there that we can't follow. And I think all it do is expose the broken piece of it. Now, what will it mean if they start targeting? They, as in whoever, starts targeting stocks going forward? I don't know if we can recover from having a lot of the big banks get bailed out because they got to cover shorts. You got to remember, our society with the fiat currency has been built on the banks kind of owning the money and us kind of playing by the rules. So we don't know well, I'm talking too much. We don't know what the consequences are, and I'm not going to be on a soapbox, but there's a lot that you could say here. In the end, I'm a silver guy. Buy silver.
Absolutely.
I'm very, very long in silver. If it hit 50, I still probably wouldn't sell the majority of what I have. So I saw a question I want to answer. Doesn't precious metals, J.M. Bosworth too says, doesn't precious metals go up when the stock market takes a nosedive? Sometimes the thing is when the stock market's crashing, a lot of people will pull their money out and put it into gold and silver as a hedge against, I don't even know how to explain it. Yes, generally they will pull it out of stocks and put it into gold and silver, but that's not always the case. It's sometimes you see that correlation.
And they'll also do other commodities too. There's other things that make a lot of money that would surprise people.
Right. Nate says I'm not renting Rob's house.
Wow. William Fowler says right now silver's at $37 an ounce Canadian. Wow.
I believe it.
That's the bummer part about living in Canada, eh? It's cold and silver's more expensive.
Confirm for me. Wall Street Bets is encouraging physical investment, not SLV, right? Yes. PA said that to Rob. I'm sorry, but I didn't see that till the end. But yes, that is, and that's why you're seeing the big premiums.
If you were doing the SLVs, they would just be more short sales.
True that.
I got one from St. Kennedy for you, Seeker.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Robin. I'm just reading in the chat and then getting confused. Silver Seeker, if the prices do it to the $50, the $100 mark, how many people would actually think? How many people actually think would be buying? More than you think, Shane. I think there's a lot of FOMO. That means fear of missing out. When you see silver really rising like that, there will be people wanting to jump on the train so that they can, try and capitalize a little bit on that. It happened with GameStop just recently. When it was going up 253, 350, people were jumping on still at 300, 350. Who's going to do that?
Still at 450. And speaking of houses, just remember this. There's a lot of people that jumped on for FOMO and did make. There was pictures on social media that said, I bought a house today on my GameStop profit. Well, the sad thing is for every one of those people holding a picture of their check that they got from the GameStop benefit, somebody lost their house. So the money is just being exchanged. Somebody got a house from their profits and they took a house from somebody. And I don't mean that negative. Win when you can. It's a dog-eat-dog world. But at the end of the day, when it's volatile like that, there's winners and losers, and it's sad.
Well, and it happens across the markets. Like even in housing in California, same thing happened. People all of a sudden were buying condos for $600,000, $700,000 that 2 years ago were $140,000 because they were freaking out. You guys know you were in Southern California.
Well, that's why I'm not in California anymore. I'll tell you what.
My mom bought a house 22 years ago, and she's just now in the last year, finally, after 22 years of paying mortgages, finally even on what she paid on her house for its value. That's awesome. Crazy to think. And she's like 8 years away from owning it. So I'm like, it's you're right, Raven. That's crazy to think.
I wanted to make one point when you were talking about how whenever someone buys a house, someone lost a house. Generally, that's true, but I'd like to think with the GameStop thing that whenever anyone buys a house with their GameStop stock, it was just paid for by Melvin Capital.
That is true. That is true.
Snacks had a point, though, guys. He was talking about not living in California anymore.
Oh, it's just, it's always been expensive, and for a reason. It's beautiful. Weather's good. Beach is beautiful. But in the last 5 years, and even I'll get more recent than that, when all this stuff started happening with COVID and yada, 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 people started realizing where they're at. In that short amount of time, the housing market jumped. I don't know what the percentage is on it. I don't want to give a number, but it went from places that were typically, if you get a decent spot townhouse or I should say condo, for $500,000, you're stoked, and it's not going to be in a nice neighborhood, and it's not going to be. When all this started, that 500 jumped to 650. Like everybody was so quick on the housing market to just either capitalize on getting somewhere where they think they're going to be more safe or comfortable, and that's the reason I moved to Texas. For what I was paying in California on renting, I pay less on a mortgage, and it's the quality of life is night and day. It's
right. You have basically night and day, like you said. It's same thing in Oklahoma. I live in a nice house for a fraction of what I paid for an apartment in California.
Absolutely. No, and you're right. If you put this exact house in, it would be 10 times its value in anywhere in LA County. Anywhere it would be 10 literally 10 times the value. So it is different, and the reason and you see a lot of people, Rob, I know here in Texas, they ask me where I'm from, and I say California, and there's a lot of us heading down here, and there's mixed emotions from locals, it seems like, and for good reason. But you have to understand that the world's a different place, and money's, people are making moves and trying to be comfortable. So and it just shows in the market how, everything's so up in the air right now. Everything, regardless if you're talking stock market, silver, can I go to the grocery store? There's so many things to question right now. I think people are starting to hone in on what's important to them in a smaller space. Or a bigger space. Very true.
Secret, you have anything you want to add on platinum, palladium, or gold?
I think, will they follow suit? I think right now silver is I've thought this for a long time, the most undervalued of precious metals. So I don't really know. I definitely have a position in gold, not so much in palladium. I have, I think, a single ounce of palladium, and even less in platinum. Although, to be honest with you, I was telling myself back when platinum was like 9 that I should have been buying it, and I kept not doing it. Now it's 11, so I'm regretting not listening to myself. But no, I think silver has more to gain than any other precious metal right now.
Yeah.
Whether this is the run up or not, I have no idea. But overall, yeah, silver for sure.
Raven, you want to get John? Raven, we can't hear you, Raven.
Uh-oh.
I turned off my mic because I was crunching on a pretzel. Sorry about
No
that.
worries.
Right now, gold eagles are at $1,954 and silver eagles are $39. With these 30% plus premiums on silver and only 5% premiums on gold, the real gold to silver ratio (GSR) is 50. Is that valid?
That's a valid point.
It's a valid point. I mean, that's what you're actually paying as far as the ratio. So technically that is pretty valid with the premiums.
Well, like I said at the beginning of our stream, there is a difference between spot silver and physical silver. There's always a disconnect. There's just a very big disconnect right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean that's pretty dang it. I'm sorry, Rob. That's pretty dang accurate.
You can say damn it, Seeker. I know you swear on your stream. All right.
Once in 3.5 years.
Hey,
Jerks. I'm just playing.
Walter Winter, yes, the Dots pretzels, man. They're awesome. I can't stop eating them.
And by the way, Talking Bully wants to know where the Gold Eagles are 1,954.
Yeah, that is true. We're
I didn't even question the number, but
Me neither, but that's
Hi, Candy Hall.
guess who's Google searching?
What's the price?
Well, APMEX has them at 2007. That's a little bit higher than that. Let me check JM and all them. Oh, look at us. We're typing now. We should talk. We should be talking. Yeah, I don't see any that cheap, but I'm not going to sit here and look for the whole stream. We'll waste our time. Okay, let's keep going.
Do we have any more targeted questions or concerns about what's going on, or just in other coin discussions or questions about anything? And I can pin it up there. We can answer it.
You know, there was a good one earlier that, people are constantly asking, and it came down to this. The lady said, hey, I've been going to my bank lately, and, is it right for them to all of a sudden charge me for getting penny boxes or quarter boxes or $50, what have you? And, is this normal? And actually, if you're going to a bank and you're not paying to get your pennies, your nickels, your dimes, your quarters, they're doing you a huge service, actually, because the bank themselves are charged like $5 per box of coins from getting it from Loomis or Brinks or whatnot. So if you just have a regular account and they're consistently giving you boxes of coins and not charging you, you're doing really well, because I know for a fact Seeker pays a premium to get his $50, and other people do.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was just going to say how much I pay. I pay $2 a box to pick them up and $5 a box to return them. So I essentially pay $7 per box of $50 that I use.
When all this stuff first started, I was at the only place I could get them was through a credit union, and they were charging me per roll.
Wow, per roll. Holy smokes.
And at first it was a dime a roll, and at that point I couldn't really get boxes anywhere, and I was bored, so it was like, I don't mind paying it. And then it got to a quarter, and I started questioning who's making these rules, and it changed why. And so I have seen it happen, but that's the worst I've experienced it with something like that.
Jensen says, can my relatives in America send me $50 across the border? It would cost a lot, but I don't see why they wouldn't be able to. If you're just talking about up north, because I ship stuff to Canada all the time. I've had some issues overseas lately, just because of the COVID, but I haven't had any issues to Canada.
I saw somebody who asked where they thought the gold to silver ratio should be, and I'm trying to find it, but bottom line is, keep this in mind. Here's some fun facts. If you, based on whatever they use to measure what the earth is made up of, and I'm not a scientist, but there is 17-5 gold to silver ratio when it comes to the planet's makeup. 17 ounces of silver for every 5 ounces of gold. So if you think about that, that's probably one way to what would the ratio be? The Romans, in Roman times, Romans actually valued silver to gold gold to silver at 12 to 1. So if we will go back to at least the Roman times, in my opinion, I would be very happy at a 12 to 1 ratio gold to silver. Now that might be too crazy, and Seeker might be there going, what is he talking about? But at the end of the day, I think somewhere between 10 and 20 to 1 is probably where it should be. But where will it end up being? Who knows?
Let's look at it like this, Rob. A 1 ounce, or not a 1 ounce, a gold double eagle had 0.9675 ounces of gold, and a silver dollar had 0.77. So if you take
it again, more time, Seeker.
A gold double eagle, a $20 gold piece, had 0.9675 ounces of gold. A silver dollar has 0.775 ounces of silver. So if you look at it like that, it's really, even the U.S. was, when we were on gold and silver standard, was like 22 to 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So just look at it like that.
So again, somewhere between 10 and 25 to 1 is ideally where it probably deserves to be, but it's going to take a lot more investors in silver, to physical silver, to get it to that kind of ratio.
Right. I already responded
Here's
to
a
that
good
big
one.
comment.
Did you see the Dan Miner said, guys? Just 2 up from Train Watcher Don.
Oh, there it is.
Oh.
Said, are buyers just getting into silver going to lose the high premium they pay when they go to sell the silver doesn't go up to what they expect and decide to sell? Well, it kind of depends on what you get for one in your silver. 2, you have collectible silver that's always going to be at a certain value. But, there are people that can lose really bad if they buy out of fear, like we discussed earlier, guys. You buy too high, you're not going to get your money back.
Well, you may not get your money back. I mean, if you buy too high and it goes to 50, you're going to get your money back. But you run a much greater risk.
Caribbean Coins is letting me know that in the 20th century versus Roman times, 45 to 1 is considered healthy. Well, that would put silver right around $40 to $42 an ounce right now, which would be probably what we've been saying in that $40 to $50 range. So I'd be okay with that. Now, I wouldn't want to be okay with that if it happens tomorrow. I think it needs to slowly climb to get there, and that way it stays without a fall. But yeah, although I do like 12 to 1 Roman times as well.
Yeah, if silver hits 45 really fast, there's going to be too many weak hands that are going to sell.
It's going to strain, and it's going to pressure, and it's going to fall again, and then we're going to be building our way back out of the basement.
I will tell you this, in 2011, 2012, when silver and gold spiked, it was around that 45 or so to 1. Because silver was like 48, 49, I think, before it dropped. And gold had topped to 1950. So what is that? I don't even remember. I'll get a calculator out. 1950 divided by 4950. That's 39 to 1. It was almost 40 to 1. So yep, that is a thing.
Michael and Zachary, appreciate that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Rob.
No, it's okay. They're glad to see you here, like I am, brothers. I guess Mike Penn says, for all of us, do you think ASCs will go above a $5 premium?
I think they're well north of it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're north of it right now, yeah.
Right now is nuts.
I've seen them locally. Me and Silver Life actually just spoke to a guy that has a shop nearby, and he wanted a $8 to $10 premium on ASCs.
Yeah.
2020s. So,
well, and I guess the main thing is the speculation of where it might end up, and on top of that, the stress of where can I get it replenished from? A lot of you asked about my 2021 silver rounds, and this is not a plug. I'm just speaking in general. I have been going back and forth with the Intaglio Mint, and the CEO there called me and said, hey, I am on a pattern of being held for my allowance. They service the U.S. Mint, the Canadian Mint, the other mints for their silver allocation orders, and the smaller private mints have been put on the back burner to fulfill private orders. So it's been tough for even bigger mints or even bigger dealers to even get their allocations. So we're already seeing a strain. So the premium is speculation on where the price would be. On top of that, if I sell it for this price today, how am I going to replenish it so I can sell more tomorrow? So that's the reason for the premiums, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even add to that. So, okay. Come on, Big Mills.
Come on, Big Mill.
He's not on here to do it. We need to get some sort of Big Mill soundbite for these streams.
Alex is that $12 premium seeker, is that right?
Yes, that is right. They are plus $11.99. I actually just did a video on that this morning.
So it's not right. It's $11.99. Okay.
Oh.
Just kidding. Well said.
Oh, shoot. Talking Bullion says, I was not happy about buying a tube of 2021 yesterday at a coin show for $6.20. I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, I did that. I did a monster unboxing. I actually got my monster box of Silver Eagles in like a week before this happened. That was well timed. Well timed.
And earlier you said he never gets lucky.
Well, I said I didn't say lucky. I said that lucky.
Boy,
This thing keeps falling out of my ear.
don't even get me started.
$500 an ounce silver. That I'd never get that lucky. I'd be a happy guy.
We'd all be happy. We'd all be happy.
I think everyone in this room would be, honestly.
I think so too.
Hey, a foot has something for Raven. Oh, I missed it. Sorry.
I got it.
Anyone's point of view on the notion a squeeze is a little different than a marginal call and the comparison to the crash of 30s and subsequent depression. Where will silver end up? You know, like I always say, and like Seeker said earlier, if we knew exactly where it was going, we'd all be rich because we could just sell and buy at the right spots and do very well. My honest opinion, I think silver will go up. It'll spike. It'll go back down a little bit, and I'm thinking it'll settle more around 40. But I could be wrong, 40 to 50 is not that big of a difference. It could jump up to 50. It could jump up to 100. But I'm really thinking it's going to be more that 40 range if it stays up higher. But it will dip. I think it'll dip into the like probably low 20s for a little bit. But that's just what I think.
Right.
And it's an opinion, not advice.
To add to that, I will tell you this. I promise you it will never drop. I guarantee you it will never drop to $2 again. And if it does, I will honor that guarantee by buying everything you have. Oh, goodness. Sorry. What 2021 U.S. Mint releases is everyone looking forward to? I think everyone's going to say the Peace and Morgan Silver Dollar.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Benjamin Pente wants to know, Paul and Snacks, are you guys buying silver at $100 an ounce?
Probably not.
No, not a chance. I'll make sure I'm good to go before it gets there.
Yeah.
No, not a shot. I mean, I say that now, but you never know what's going on.
It depends on the situation.
Here's the thing. You're right. If it stays the new norm, like it literally stays up at 100, and we know it's never going to drop back down below that, then you're stuck at dealing with what the price is. Like that old term is it's worth what people are willing to pay for it.
Right.
You just never know. That's a good way to put it. It's easy for us to say, not a chance right now. But when that situation is actually reality, your mentality and your priorities might change. You just never know because we're not there.
Yep. That's a legit response. Nicolette's Hobby says, when silver goes higher, how will it impact the streams? Go ahead, Rob.
We actually answered that already.
We did answer it, and in a nutshell, we'll have to readjust, and obviously we'll let everyone know that's part of the streams or that is vested in getting boxes open, what that change would be. Obviously, there would have to be some impact, of course, but until we know more, we really can't speculate, but there would be some impact. But rest assured, no matter what, all of us would probably still maintain some type of stream as long as we get boxes, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yep.
How about this one? Any one of you?
I'm not a fan of paper silver. I'm just gonna be straight out with that. It's not even. To each their own. If you like paper silver, that's great. I'm not a fan of it at all. So that's my only thoughts on it. I'd much rather have something in my hand. Yes, it is slightly easier to part with it because you just sell it back in the stock market, but I'd rather have. I don't think you own anything unless you can hold it. So there you go. That's my opinion.
I'm not far from that. And that's why I kind of have I'll leave it at that. I agree with that for sure.
Okay.
Frankie, that's a great question, and we probably are all different schools of thoughts here. You guys know I'm a big fan of constitutional silver because I'm a numismatic person first, or numismatist, first. But at the end of the day, I'm just not a big fan on high premium silver because I figure if I'm going to be stacking silver, I'd rather it be generic or constitutional. But let's face it, there are pieces that I have both 2020 proof ASDs, and that should tell you that I have no problem paying premiums for silver if I want something. So I think if you're stacking, it's better to get generic or junk silver, if you will. But if you're a collector and a stacker, then maybe it's nice to grab some of the pieces that you want to add in your collection that will hold their premiums. Pandas have had premiums for years and have held them no problem. And there's other ones that have held their premiums and even have increased their premiums because of their limited mintages or collectability. So you gotta do your homework. Just don't go buy everything with a high premium just because it sounds or looks cool, in my opinion.
I'm with you on that. I'm a stacker and collector, so I like to get all sorts of different designs and all sorts of stuff. If all I collected was 10 and 50 and 100-ounce bars and I set into a safe, it's just not any fun to me. Getting stuff like this, I'm not going to stack these, but I'm certainly going to buy a couple of them for my collection.
Of course.
Hey, did you see this one from Shane P? And it says, do you think that since silver is high that the reserves are going to be picking the silver out of the boxes before they put them in? I don't see that.
I don't see it happening.
I don't either.
I don't think it's going to be cost effective for them to put in the machinery and all that stuff to pull it out, and I don't see it happening.
Yeah, the only picking silver that will happen is the tellers knowing what is going on and picking it before it goes to the places that package the coins up. If you think that they've already got, like Silver Seeker and Raven said earlier, they've already got their prices built in on their per box or per roll costs. They'll raise that up before they invest in machinery to try to pick out the silver. If you've got a bank that's stamping your boxes or telling you they're picking the silver out, it's a bank that probably has their dump machine and they're wise to what silver and they're rolling it themselves and they're the ones picking it out and stamping the boxes, or they're just lying so you stop ordering coins.
Exactly.
That's basically it.
Hey, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Raven.
Matt Poe had a good question here, or statement. He says, do you think the spike in silver will cause people to melt low-graded silver coins?
It happened in the 80s. Silvertown actually melted all sorts of crap back then. I mean, Morgan silver dollars, we're even talking better dates. There's a reason that survival rates on Morgan silver dollars are so low because of that. So if it goes high enough, yeah, I can absolutely see it happening again.
And, somebody said earlier something about their coins getting to them and being worth more instantly. When it comes to premium, like a higher graded, grade Morgan or whatnot, those have their numismatic values. Yes, they do have a silver content and a silver value to it, but your high-end Morgan dollar that's worth $3,000 isn't going to be worth $6,000 because of silver going up. It's going to stay about the same price. The only real effect you'll see is like on maybe Washington quarters and stuff that you buy, constitutional in bulk. But when it's a really nice premium numismatic piece, no, they normally keep that value, for that.
Yep, agreed. I want to chime in really fast. I know this is Rob's show, but we only have a few minutes left. I just wanted to tell everyone that we obviously are missing a ton of questions because there's a lot being asked. So if there's anything that we missed, if you want to hit us up afterwards or whatever, we'll do our best to answer it. If not, we will be live again in 2 weeks on my channel. And we do this every week. There's always questions that we miss. We try and get to all of them, but if we miss one of your questions, it's not because we're ignoring it. It's just because there's so many that by the time we get to one, so many more have scrolled everything off the screen. We're doing our best.
But with that said, I have noticed, and I want to thank the moderators out there and others in the chat that have been answering a lot of questions for people. I've been seeing that. Every time I was getting ready to answer or ask some, I see answers. So thank you. As a reminder, because we love supporting the channel and the communities and everyone on this panel, if my moderators could please post all of our channel links periodically over the next 5 minutes or so throughout there. I want to make sure we get people that aren't subscribed, $50 Make You Holler, Silver Seeker, Ravenhawk Coins. And for those that came from their channels to check out mine, if you like what you're seeing and you wouldn't mind hanging out with us a lot longer, we do this every couple of weeks. It'd be nice to have the support as well on the subscriptions. So if we could just pin a few or put a few channel links in, that'd be awesome.
Thank you, Rob.
Appreciate that. And this is really cool. I love when we can generate more involvement in the community by bringing different audiences together. I know a lot of people meet, find streamers or find a community that they normally wouldn't have had access to. So what you're doing here, I really do appreciate. Spread the word and get good people together, and just see this whole community grow. So that's very cool.
Absolutely.
Well said, man.
Yeah,
Well said.
all that stuff. Yeah.
All the touchy feelies. You guys are awesome.
Big
I like the
hugs.
touchy feelies. You know? That's what life's
Well, now that we're all so close, so I still, once this COVID thing gets a little bit less, I'm telling you, Rob, we're going fishing, and oh, there's Shalani. Hi, Shalani.
Hi, guys.
Hey, how are you?
I just popped in. I had to get my little timer. I got a team call.
Okay.
But hi, guys.
Hey, Charlani, what's going on?
Have fun.
Woo.
Wait, is this like what are you guys doing?
We're having a silver discussion.
You know what? There's not enough females in this stream. We'll fix that.
There you go.
It doesn't get easier to see. It really does.
That's actually kind of
If we ever end up in jail, we know Seeker will make a good-looking woman.
That is too funny. Okay, bye.
I only say it because I'm kidding. I love you, man.
Oh, you're good, brother. That's too funny. Oh, man. I'm sure we missed all sorts of questions.
We totally did. Sorry, we got sidetracked.
That's all right.
Oh, metal detecting and fishing. That sounds good.
That sounds good. That sounds really good, actually.
There
Thank
you
you.
go.
Well, any other last? We have a few minutes. Any other questions that we may have missed that maybe one of the mods saw that I may have missed that wants to throw it in there? We can do that. I appreciate the channel support. I appreciate. I think at one point we had 480 people watching. I might have been wrong, but we were almost at 500. So definitely enjoy that you guys took part of your Monday evening to hang out with us. I guess us 5. I would say us 4, but there's 5 of us. Very cool of all of you for sure.
Denny Singh says silver is due for shortages. Do you agree? I'll let you go on that one, Rob. I've been answering a lot of silver questions.
I'm sorry, I was reading. What was that, Seeker?
He said, Danny Singh said silver is due for shortages. Do you agree?
Due for shortages? Are we saying that it's like hard to get a hold of?
I think that's what he's asking. That's what I thought he was asking.
Not only are we due, we're in it right now, kind of. And it's short for the price I want to pay. It's pretty heavy if I want to go crazy and pay high premiums. But I'll give you an idea. I called both of my silver dealers the last 3 days, and not one order. They have nothing for me. Nothing. Absolutely, like zero. When 2 weeks ago, one of them had 1,000 mercs, 1,000 quarters, and 1,000 halves that I could have picked up. And I probably should, but I couldn't afford it anyway, so it didn't matter. But I was thinking about getting some of it, but now they have none, zero. So,
yes, we went silent. No one.
I know. I'm just trying to catch them. I didn't know if there's anything else you guys saw in the chat.
I'm watching it. I know we probably scrolled past some stuff, and people maybe even less because we didn't answer the question. We tried.
Well, then we're gonna end it now. It's been a fun stream for me. A lot of good comments and questions and everything, and just being able to hang out with some of the brothers here in the coin community, whether it's on the panel or the people of the channel, whether they're my members or members of the other channels. You guys are awesome. And I wish we could talk more, but we wanted to keep it to a 1 hour like we've been doing. Remember that in 2 weeks from today, it'll be on Silver Seeker's channel. Another reason to make sure you're subscribed to him so that you can get his notification. 2 weeks after that, it will be back on Ravens. And make sure you're subscribed to him as well. And then, of course, we'll go back to me, and we'll have different guests, some repeat guests if we decide that's a good idea, but we will have different guests on from time to time, or not even from time to time, every single stream. So I think that's it for today for me. I want to thank everyone for the super chats, the support, and the friendly attitude and positive vibes. And Seeker, you're next.
That same thing. I just want to thank everyone for, again, all the questions, the positive vibes, hanging out with us and giving us some of your time on a Monday night. You guys are awesome, and I look forward to seeing you on my channel in a couple of weeks. Or before then, really, but, you know.
No, wait 2 weeks and then show up.
Camped out.
Yeah, Raven?
Definitely, guys, this was awesome. Always have a good time, of course, with my brothers Rob and Seeker, and good to have Paul and Snacks here. And, you know, this is just going to keep progressing as we go along, and the rotation on the different channels and the different points of views that you're going to get to see is really cool. And the positivity that's been in this room tonight is just awesome, guys. Just really, really cool. Thank you again.
Paul and Snacks, $50?
I'll let you take it.
Yeah, it's awesome to see the community come together. I know on our channel we do a couple charities and fundraisers and stuff, and I feel that I'm kind of obligated to shout out. The crew raised over $11,000 for a children's hospital in Dallas.
Wow.
So we ended up doing it. If you guys haven't seen that video, go check it out. And I want to give it to them. And we had Silver Life and Nate Barber come out and help out. And I just can't say enough to the community. I know we're not I always say at the end of my streams, we're not going to be the biggest community on YouTube, but we've got a really solid group of people that come together for not only good causes, but to raise awareness and just kind of have fun, man. You know,
I'd rather have
shout out to everybody in the community, streamers, subscribers, and everybody in between, mods. That mod squad, man, those are the big people right there. So big shout out to them.
Agree with you, or Snacks. Sorry, I would say I'd rather have 500 of us than 10,000 of the gaming community.
Absolutely, so. In a heartbeat. Quality over quantity, my friend.
That's right.
Heck yeah.
And guys, Jan the Wit just posted their channel right there, Half Dollar Make You Holler, so make sure you go over there and show them that sub love. You know what's up.
Appreciate that.
All right, guys. I think that covers it. We're going to say goodnight to everyone. And if everyone on the panel could just stay for a second, I want to just say thank you after we're done with the stream. But thank you, everyone. Have a great evening. Stay safe and stack that silver as much as you can. Physical.
Yep.
Yeah.
Physical.
See you guys.